128 gigabytes, extendable to 575 to 76 gigabytes. Input was the keyboard, which had the built-in tape drive. The Amstrad CPC, short for Colour Personal Computer, is a series of 8-bit home computer produced by Amstrad between 1984 and 1990. It was designed to compete in the mid-80s home computing market, dominated by the Commodore 64 and the Sinclair ZX Spectrum. When it was successfully established itself primarily in the United Kingdom, France, Spain and Germany, in German-speaking parts of Europe. The series spawned a total of 6 distinct models: the CPC 464, seen here, the CPC 664 and the CPC 6128 were highly successful competitors in the UK and European home computer market. The later Plus models, 464 Plus and 612 Plus, efforts to prolong the system's life cycle with hardware updates were considerably less successful, as the attempt to repackage the Plus hardware into a game console as the GX4000. The CPC model's hardware is based on Zilog Z80A CPU, completed with either 64 or 128 gigabytes of memory. Their computer in a keyboard design, which features an integrated storage device, either as a compact cassette deck or a 3-inch floppy disk drive. The main units were sold only bundled with a coloured or monochrome monitor that doubled up as a mains power unit supply. Additionally, a wide range of first and third party hardware extensions such as external disk drives, printers and memory extensions was available. The CPC series was pitched against other home computers primarily used to play video games and enjoy a strong supply of game software, although it also included software such as word processing. During its lifetime, the CPC series sold approximately 3 million units. The philosophy behind the CPC series was to unfold, firstly, the concept of an all-in-one where the computer keyboard and its data storage device were combined in a single unit and optionally sold with its own dedicated display monitor. Most home computers of that time, such as the ZX Sinclair series, the Commodore 64 and the BBC Micro, relied on the use of the domestic television set and separately connected tape recorder or disk drive. In itself, the all-in-one concept was not new, having been seen before on business-orientated machines and the Commodore PET, but in the home computer space it predated the Apple Macintosh by almost a year. Secondly, Amstrad's founder, Alan Sugar, Also owner of a football club, Millwater, and a business tycoon in electronics, and later becoming the host of the BBC's TV show The Young Apprentice. Also to become a Lord, member of the House of Lords in London. Lord Sugar wanted the machine to resemble a real computer, similar to what someone would see being used to check in them at an airport for their holidays, and for the machine not to look like a pregnant calculator, in reference presumably to the Sinclair ZX81 and the ZX Spectrum with their low-cost membrane-type keyboards. The CPC 464, seen here, featured a 64GB RAM and internal cassette tape deck. It was introduced in 1984 in the UK. Initial suggestions, retail price for the CPC 464 was Great Britain £249 with a green screen, and £359 with a coloured monitor screen. Following the introduction of the CPC 6128 in late 1985, suggested retail prices for the 464 were cut by £50. In 1990, the 464 Plus replaced the 464 in the new model lineup and produced one of the CPC's 464 was discontinued. The CPC 664 features a 64GB RAM and an internal 3-inch floppy disk drive. It was introduced in May 1985 at £339 British pounds with a green monochrome monitor and £449 with a coloured monitor. After the successful release of the CPC 464, consumers were constantly asking for two improvements: more memory and an internal disk drive. For Amstrad, the latter was easier to realise. At the deliberately low-key introduction of the CPC 664 in May 1985, the machine was positioned not only at the lowest cost disk system, but even the lowest cost CP/M 2.2 machine. In the Amstrad CPC product range, the CPC 664 complemented the CPC 464, which was neither discontinued nor repriced. Compared to the CPC 464, the CPC 664's main unit had been significantly redesigned, not only to accommodate the floppy disk drive, but also with redesigned keyboard areas. The Amstrad CPC enjoyed a strong and long life, mainly due to the machine's use for business as well as gaming. Dedicated programmers continued working on the CPC range, even producing graphic user interface GUI operating systems such as Symbol OS. Internet sites were devoted to the CPC games. CPC magazines appeared during the 1980s, including publications in countries such as Britain, France, Spain, Denmark, Australia and Greece. Titles include the official Amstrad computer user publication, as well as independent titles like Amstrad Action, Amtix, Computing with the Amstrad CPC, CPC Attack, Australians, the Amstrad User, France, Amstrad Cent pour Cent, and Amstar. Following the CPC's end of production, Amstrad gave the permission for CPC ROMs to be distributed freely as long as the copyright message is not changed and it is acknowledged that Amstrad still holds copying, giving emulator authors the possibility to ship the CPC's firmware with their programs. Amstrad followed their success with the CPC 464 by launching the Amstrad PCW word processor range. Other Z80 based machines with a 3-inch disk drive and software by location software. The PCW was originally developed to be partly compatible with an improved version of the CPC. On the 7th of April 1986, Amstrad announced it had bought Sinclair Research, the worldwide rights to sell and manufacture all existing and future Sinclair computers.